Here we are again, and I have another cup of tea, which I would like to add is from the same tea bag, because let's see. Um, it's the common perception that when you make tea, you make one cup of tea from one tea bag, then you throw the tea bag away, and if you want another cup of tea, you get another one and you make it from that. But really, that's totally unnecessary, and I suspect is a scam to get you to buy more tea. Um, because here's the deal. One tea bag, which there's really like a pretty standard amount of tea in each tea bag. Every tea bag is undeniably good for multiple cups of tea. So I have this big mug. It's just like a pretty standard, but it's a little taller than a standard mug for making tea in, and it's good. Each bag is good for about 2.5. And when I say that, I mean so the first time you do it standard, you put the and of course, you know, if I were making tea for multiple people, I would make it in my teapot, which I love. My teapot is one of my most valued worldly possessions, just because it makes me happy. But if I were having tea with multiple people, I would be making it in my pot. But as an individual, I have my mug. So you know, I put it in the microwave for like 2 minutes or whatever. It's 2 minutes every time to get it up to white tea brewing temperature of approximately 180. That's what you brew white tea at. But so I put it in the microwave for about 2 minutes, and then for the first tea bag, because it's the richest, no tea has been taken out of it yet. Well, 3. It goes in there after it's done microwaving. It goes in there for the normal amount of time, which is about 3 minutes per whole. And then I take it out, and then I've got my cup of tea, perfectly brewed, and it's very nice. So that's the first one, and then the second one, you microwave it for 2 minutes, and then the tea bag goes in, and it just stays in, you know, because it's a little bit depleted. And so it needs a little longer to get the same amount of saturation in the water as it would otherwise. So, let's see, no iron, 225, 300. So it just stays in until while I drink the entire cup of tea. This seems a little rash, I know, but... Oh, no, did I need 225? It just stays in while I drink my whole cup of tea, so it has that entire amount of time. And then, so it's still good for a half of one, and by that I mean I'm gonna have to sell a couple weapons to make up that difference. So for the third one, I take, by the way, if you're gonna do this, you have to make sure that if there's a staple on the tea bag, it is either submerged with the tea bag in the water, or if it's a staple between the string and the paper tag for your tea string. Is that a good idea? I could get 60. What am I? 10, 50, 20. Oh, I'll just sell 2. Good deal. I need 5. Shucks, I need 5 more. So the third one, and again, make sure, because as most people know, if you don't feel bad if you don't know it though, because you don't know it usually you don't know it unless you've done it. But on the third On the third one, just go ahead and put the tea bag in the water and then microwave the whole thing, the tea bag in the water. And so that will, like, as it heats up, it will also stir it a little bit and it'll get that last bit of tea out of it. Then take the tea bag out and then put a new tea bag in that water and let it steep for 3 minutes. And then you kind of have this endless cycle of using the last tea bag for the third time and then putting your new one in on top of that. You can actually take it a little bit out, a little bit earlier because your tea is already a little. And so you can do that and waste less tea, and I advocate that. Perfectly good. Save you some money. Save you some tea. Just a good strat in my opinion. Life hack. So one thing. Gosh darn it! I used the potion again, but that's okay. I might need it for this one. Because this is about when it starts getting hard with outdoor 20. Boy, they're getting them. They're getting them. I did not need the potion. Whoopsie. I'm gonna have to put myself a note up in the corner here. Alright. If I click out of the... Nah, I don't remember. It's fine. Anyway. One thing about me is I do have... It's not incredibly debilitating, but it's definitely there. I have clinically... Maybe not... No, let's just go. I have clinically diagnosed OCD. It's not crippling, but it's there. And so there's certain things, which it goes along with my light autism. But so there's certain things that I really fixate on, that I really have a tendency to obsess about. And the foremost of those, because it comes with something that I'm really passionate about and that I was taught to care about from very young, is being sustainable and not wasting. And my mom is not that, like, hard about not wasting things. She's actually wastes more stuff than I'm okay with, or she would. But level 2? Oh. Needs 250, 200. 250, 200 food. What? No. 375, 300. But so, 375, 300. And I needed 180, I think? It's probably really annoying, by the way. I apologize for the ums and so's. I have to break that habit. It's one of those things, like apologizing too much and then you apologize for apologizing. But so that's one thing that I really obsess about is wasting as little as possible. And when I do end up doing things not as efficiently as I could, and it ends up with waste, it bothers me really deeply, and it hurts me. It's really it's hard on me, and so that's just a slight example of that kind of thing. Is that oh shucks, I forgot about the attack from over here. I'll make up for it by upgrading. I can't. Shucks. Well, good luck, Nidawi. Those are, by the way, those are not, You could think with the variety of things that I've been talking about that that's not even the premise of the game about Native Americans, but I don't think Nidawi, I don't think any of these, I think maybe like this one and this one, like Tocho and Shiveo. Those are like maybe almost there, but I don't think any of these, of the other ones are even reminiscent of Apache naming conventions. Just saying. Sorry about the clips on the microphone. But yes, waste bothers me very badly. I will eat food even if I don't like it, or even if it's likely to make me a little sick, just to keep from wasting it. Like it's a big deal to me. Fun facts. I need to. I'm gonna save up for. I'm saving up for. That should be okay. I'm saving up for the template so I can upgrade my thing. I could be better, but we're good to go. This was not ideal, but that's okay. No. Maybe. Yeah, why not? I mentioned something in the last one about being the age. Oh, this is 30 enemies though. Maybe that potion was necessary. And she's so good. I don't think so. She's really good. I appreciate her. She's great to have and stuff. But I gotta say, not an effective way to wield. Oh, the whites are here now. They're on their way. They've stepped up the war effort that they're showing up themselves. Kind of offensive, by the way, that they're like, oh, that's the higher level enemy, is the whites. The natives weren't strong enough. They've got, again, well, but then again, the natives, that's the real difference. They could have just armed them with guns. I don't know. Maybe they feared an insurrection. I don't know. Okay, so it turns out I didn't need the potion. Didn't like it. Oh, but I was gonna say, that is not a practical way to wield probably any firearm at the end of the day, but certainly not ones of rifle length. Just putting that out there. But anyway, I mentioned in the last episode something about being of the generation now, and again, in case I didn't mention it, labeling generations has a million different factors that makes it inaccurate in a bunch of different ways, and it's not good to. I mean, you can make there's a lot of reasonable inferences that you can make about people based on the generation that they're in. Of course, you shouldn't profile people based on the generation, and so on and so forth. I would like to know how you're supposed to get gold from battles. It would help. Anyway, and that flower is one from the right on the bottom. But I mentioned something about being the generation that I am, and oh, I don't remember where I was going with this one. I think I can almost afford a tempo, which is good. I might be able to afford it this turn, actually. I will be honest with you. I don't remember where I was going with that. Something about being my generation. I'm sure it had something to do with just being, anxious or apologetic all the time. I don't know. I'll upgrade throwing knife to swordsman. Need 700, 1200. The ones that really need the upgrade, this spearman. Halberdier. Interesting. High wizard. Upgrade wizard to high wizard with staff. That's nice. But yes, as like most folks my age, I am generally anxious about stuff, and oh no, why did my cup of tea kind of made a wet circle? I don't know why that happens. It's not condensation. I don't know. There you go. I'm anxious and overthink things. There you go. That's the end of the story. Oh great, I collect the flowers. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and move Kachada over here. And otherwise, I'm gonna save up. But you know, I could use some more food, I think. I'm gonna go ahead and upgrade my harbors then. 120 iron, 250 wood. There's certainly when you think about, I do love reading about. It's really in the mainstream discourse in recent times with the boomer and millennial wars and the rise of okay boomer and everything, but it's really interesting. I really have historically enjoyed reading about what makes a generation a generation that is considered in social science, and how they're named and what their tendencies are and stuff. But there's certainly, when you get to thinking about that stuff, it's easy to, I guess, really even just more generally, just in general, but there's certainly, when you look at folks in your age range, so they would match up with your generation, or at least this is certainly my experience. But when you look at all that I'm going to be able to, hold on, let me check this last harbor. At least my experience is when you look at people that would be of your gen. So I'm only going to be able to get one more, so I can sell down to 250 and 120. It's certainly easy to look at folks in your age range. 150? Oh. 120, 250. And feel inadequate when there are people that are younger than you that have a similar, at least from a social perspective, they had a similar 120 foundation as you did, and the tendencies to learn learn things, or they likely had a similar background for technology and what access to information that they had, and and they're still they still know more than you, at least apparently, or are more they have more skill than you do at one thing or another, any other number of things. And yeah, this is a more general thing. Envy is envy, but it's particularly, I feel it has a particular multiplicative effect when you look at it in the context of generations. But it can be disheartening when there's folks that are younger than you, and it feels like they're more competent. But certainly one thing that makes me feel better when I think about stuff in that nature is with language, which is to say that, okay, what do I need to level up? What do I need to level up my spear throwers? They're not throwers, they just do. I need 1,000 food. But I could have 1,000 food, 12. I'm not gonna get that this level. Dang. How high do building levels go up? I have no idea. But so one thing that makes me feel better when I'm feeling inadequate compared to other folks, be they my age or anything else, is that it's really easy to be impressed when folks can speak multiple languages, especially if you only speak one. And I only speak one language. I learned Spanish in high school, and I could probably, especially if I brushed up a little bit, which is, it's true for everyone. If you brush up a little bit and you put your mind to it, you could get your way through an exchange with somebody that you needed to. But if you only speak one language, it's really easy to be very, very impressed if other folks speak multiple. But something to remember about that is, even though a lot of people speak they kind of downplay how good technology is for the sake of translating languages, because of course they'll never be perfect. There's a huge amount of there's a huge number of factors that go into translating something so that you can retain a lot or enough of the nuance of something that has been said in order for it to come back out right. But I think really it's the fact of the matter that using technology and databases and real-time translation, like using a Google Translate app on your phone to be able to hold a conversation with somebody, I think it's hard to deny that will inevitably be really great, and there won't be, except for like really important to get the details, like diplomatic negotiations and stuff, there's no reason that tech won't take over for the need to know multiple languages if you want to travel or communicate with folks. And that might sound, some people are generally anti-technology, and I have my own fears about it. It's also a very long conversation, but oh, that's three. Okay. Um, uh, but I think it's really promising, and it sounds really nice that you can use technology to talk to folks, and there's there's it's just such a promising, pleasant, and hopeful idea, and so eventually my point here is eventually there's not too much of a reason to speak. There's not too much of a reason to speak multiple languages, and really it would probably serve you better to study and practice other things, in my opinion. Just something to remember, because it's always been fascinating to me that people had the ability to do that, and of course living in the United States, where that's not something that much of an emphasis is put on at all. And so it wasn't emphasized in my education, and of course I only took a second language in high school, and so on and so forth. That was always something that I sort of grappled with, was feeling really inadequate because that wasn't a skill that I had, even though that everybody else has it. And granted, it's a skill that you probably should have. That's something, I mean, there's a whole litany of reasons that the education in the United States is subpar, but I guess the main point that I'm making, and the takeaway is, there's no good reason to stress about how inadequate you may or may not be. At the end of the day, really, I mean, at the end of the day, robots are going to be everything eventually anyway. Which sounds kind of bleak, but not really, because after the singularity, and in case you have never read about the singularity, you should. It's well, I say you should. I'm not your dad. Do whatever you want. But it's fascinating, is my point. The singularity, in case you don't know, is the event which will definitely happen. There's really no question about it. It will come true one day. But eventually, oh, they start, if you level it up, I know there's 2 workers at the iron mine. That's neat. This game, I'm uncovering new things about this game. 500 food, 400 iron, 500. Yeah, may as well. But if you, so the singularity is what will eventually happen when we get good enough at making artificial intelligence, that we will make an artificial intelligence that is smarter than we are, which the inherent implication when you're looking at this in the context of, I need 400 iron, when you're looking at this in the context of AI development and the future of humanity, is, how much gold did I need? Dagnabbit. Is that once we finally succeed in making an AI that's smarter than us, assuming that isn't somehow an impossibility, which hypothetically it could be an impossibility, because logically that might be difficult. But regardless, when we make AI up to a certain aptitude, AI can start. AI, of course, stands for artificial intelligence. Um, Once we develop AI to a certain aptitude, AI can start programming their own AI. And because they're smarter than us, and I got 11 potions, I can afford to spend one. And of course, because we demonstrated that we were able to make an AI smarter than we were, that AI, since it's smarter than we were, should be able to make an AI smarter than it. So you end up on this trajectory where AI is forever iterating itself in a more powerful and powerful way, and then they just take over everything. We don't even have to think about anything, which is scary in a way, because having autonomy taken away from human beings is a scary thing, but we could also do it's at the same time really freeing, because then guess what? We can do whatever we want. We can spend all our time doing leisure, making art, and any other number of things, assuming that, of course, we aren't extinct by then, and assuming that we program the AI such that they won't go rogue and that, Asimov and everything else. But assuming that everything is structured and goes in a way that it can be sustained and it's positive for humanity, we can just do whatever we want, and that's a really great thought. I can just make Let's Plays all the time, and that sounds pretty sick in a good way. Of course, I say, and I'm sorry to be a bummer. Of course, I say, if we survive to a time. I love sitting on these combat screens and just not having to do anything. It's really great, and then I can just talk. Like, how much that? No. Of course, I say, and I'm sorry to be a Debbie Downer. Climate change is really scary. It might get us. If you want to debate me about climate change, hit me up in the comments. Why do I not get any gold? Anyway, climate change is a real scary situation. Honestly, I would probably, to the general observer, my advice, if you were asking for it, would be to just, live sustainably, of course. Everybody should live sustainably, even if the planet weren't facing the eventuality of climate change. You have to live sustainably anyway. Otherwise, that's gotta come up. 180, 375, 450, 375, 450, 300. 375. Gosh darn it. 450, 300. Even if we weren't facing the eventuality of climate change, everybody has to live sustainably, just mathematically speaking. Everybody has to live sustainably in order to stay on the planet and maintain a certain lifestyle. And of course, deforestation is a problem. It's not as much of a problem as it used to be, really. By the way, in case you were curious, and I started to mention this in my Gothic video, but I didn't want it to go too long. In case you're curious, my major at school is in environmental engineering, so I have to take. So I take. Should I? Yeah. So I take programs that are based on environmental science and stuff like that. And so just mathematically, we have to, like, for example, oh no, why is it? Oh, they're not close enough. I don't understand what. Guess they're out of range. I don't know. This just doesn't make sense. Maybe I should send them a couple of these. But so just mathematically, oh my gosh, am I gonna, if I, this sucks. I'm worried about this one. My base is at half health. This sucks. I don't even know. Not entirely clear what's happening, but I'm worried about this. It's gonna suck if I have to restart. I'm actually like kind of sweating here, in a sense. Oh no, this is tense. I'm sorry for no commentary. This I should have leveled up my warriors by now. I'm at 37 out of 200. Oh my gosh. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. This. Oh no. This is bad. This is bad. Oh, he didn't die? He didn't die. That's good. I thought he'd necessarily die. So can I bring him right back out and engage again? I don't know what happens here, if I'm being honest. I didn't know that that's what made the... Fun fact, by the way, this is the sound effect that in movies and media and stuff, they use that for eagles. Sorry, that's annoying. They use that sound effect for eagles, but actually that's a red-tailed hawk. Eagles just kind of do this gentle little quiet squeak sound, and they don't sound impressive, so they just dub red-tailed hawks over... Alright, let's try this again. I'm nervous. I'm nervous. They just dub red-tailed hawks over eagles so that they sound better and more impressive. Hope that didn't ruin anything for you, but it's kind of like, I mean, it kind of makes sense, but yes, take another potion. This sucks. I'm gonna concentrate on this one because I am nervous. I'm low on swordsman too. Oh, good. It didn't respawn the whole army. Oh, okay. Oh. So apparently you get gold when you lose. That doesn't make sense to me. I know it's a little over dramatic, but that honestly made me kind of lightheaded. Which is like, come on, bro. But yeah, a little bit. Why won't the execute move button work? Oh, it's because I already moved this time. I think. That sucks. The game has gotten hard now, and that makes me nervous. My archer is up here. He needs a watchtower. And I don't have enough food to get it to level 3, but that's okay. Okay. Alright. What, how much? Oh, how much? No. I'll have to call it good. Oh, the flower did it. It's up in the top left. How much would it take to upgrade my bow? 1,200 wood. 1,000. So maybe if I sell down to 1,200 wood. I'll be honest with y'all, I didn't expect the game to get this intense. I thought it would just be kind of like a baby's game for babies. I should have known better with the amount of, I guess the amount of bloodiness is not necessarily indicative of how sophisticated it will be, because sometimes you have to appeal to people with. I don't want to insult anybody. That's not what I mean. But okay, let me amend that. It's not people with certain sensibilities. It's just people. You have to make games that sometimes people don't want to think too hard, but they also like a little bit of graphic nature. What I was saying about environmental science classes, I gotta say, I'm kind of proud of myself for being able to remember back that far and do that many things. But like, and this is a simple concept, but you know, if you're living in a way that you use a bunch of trees, and the only way is for people to get as many trees as they need to give everybody is to tear down a bunch of wild trees, and then we face deforestation. Well, then great, now we're on the path to having no trees, and then everything falls apart. Which is, you know, deforestation is not really so much of a problem. I mean, in some parts of the world, it's a different problem in some places, but at least not in the United States. It's not that huge of a problem. But so everybody has to live sustainably, just fundamentally and mathematically and logically. Everybody has to live sustainably. So my advice, I remember now, I was going to say, my advice for the casual observer is, honestly, it's probably best just, why did I even bother? I don't know. For your mental health and well-being, just, don't keep up with news about how bad and inevitable climate change is and is going to be. It doesn't do you any good to stress about that stuff. Just like, you can't acutely do anything about it yourself unless you're a member of the government, really. And again, live sustainably and live in a way that isn't, because it's inherently necessary. But take the bus if you can, and so on and so forth. But really, just you shouldn't worry too much about stuff that you can't really do anything about. Now, how much gold do I have? 565, huh? I need 650. This is interesting. This is an interesting conundrum. I'm not sure I can get away with selling enough weapons that I can afford to upgrade my bows. I'm thinking I can't, so we'll get it next round, I guess. Let's just hope we do. And this guy is ranged, so hopefully it won't be too bad. I should have invested in some resources. I will go ahead and use the potion, because we have enough potions that it's okay. We're getting attacked out of the west, which sucks. But this should go fine. But if you're passionate about issues of so I said before, I'm not shy at all about. I'm not worried about talking about politics in my Let's Plays. If you're interested about those issues and you're passionate about them, I'll plug the guy shamelessly from now until doomsday. Bernie Sanders is great on these issues. I love Bernie Sanders. If you want to debate me about Bernie Sanders, post in the comments. I'll get back to you. These potions are a little bit overpowered, it seems. I mean, look at this. Mowing over colonialists left and right. Colonialists? I guess a colonist is somebody that you send to form a colony, but a colonialist is somebody who philosophically believes in colonialism. I just realized that these whites have like a. And by the way, don't. If there's any easily offended white person that happens to be listening to this, don't get antsy in the comments and be like, ugh, look at this racism against white. I am white, so just be clear. But I noticed, well, there's not gonna be one. But these whites walking around here that have a bandana on, like they're from the Old West. It's kind of weird, just weird. But you know what? The Apache did live in the West, even though this doesn't really look like the West. Because there's too many trees and stuff. I guess maybe it could be like Colorado. I don't have enough. Good. Now, our swordsman does need an upgrade. I'm gonna upgrade. Okay, so I need 700 gold, 1,200, 1,000, 1,000. So what I'm gonna do, I'm a little low on food, I think. What I'm gonna do is invest this turn. They'll be here in 2 more turns. So I'm gonna invest in resources. And then my resources are gonna compound while I'm waiting for that turn. That's another thing that I could talk about though for an hour though, is my love for Bernie Sanders. And this cycle, he's got like my favorite plan, which is the federal. I don't know if it's my favorite plan. I really like it. I think it's really bold and good. The federal jobs guarantee. A continuation of like FDR's economic legacy. where he was gonna, and that's something to look into if you haven't read about it or heard about it, is FDR's plan for the second Bill of Rights. And there's a neat video. Now that I've thought about it, I'll link it in the description if I remember to. But FDR had this plan for economic policy that he was going to call the second Bill of Rights, and he did an address to the American people on it, where he talked about it. But it included, among other things, a right to a job and a right to a job, a right to housing, and a right to food, which, if you keep up with... Boy, that's annoying. If you keep up with policies in the modern world, those are things which just empirically are not unreasonable expectations. I missed. Oh, there's 2 flowers. That's uncommon. Go get the close one. Those are not unreasonable expectations, but so I'll link that video in his presidential address. In that spirit and in that vein, Bernie has, and in case you don't know, Bernie Sanders is a senator, is the junior senator for Vermont. Junior, even though he's been in Congress for like 30 years. 30 years? Maybe more. Maybe more years than that. Okay, so if I want to upgrade my swordsman, I have to go to the temple. Upgrade. Oh, okay. 700. Okay, so I can sell a ton of food under 1,200. Boy, that's a lot of food. Okay. Alright. And actually, they'll be there next turn, so I don't even have to, I can put it in something else right now. That one's level 4. Can't get that. That was level 2. I'm actually lowest on iron, so I should get that. Good. Oh, you know, I could probably put something else in there too. What about my other iron? Yeah, I should probably put it in the wood though. You know what? No. Just let it go next turn. Move Kachana here. What was it? We're coming on an hour again, and I can't remember what the last thing I was talking about was. Oh, Bernie Sanders is the junior senator for Vermont, even though he's been in Congress for 30 years, and it is almost 2020. And he is running for the Democratic Party's presidential nomination for 2020. And he's doing a great job so far. I really love him. I've donated to him a couple times. I've done volunteer work for him, whole 9 yards. I'd take a bullet for the guy. But so part of his platform this year, and it's really bold, is to guarantee every United States citizen a job through the federal government if they can't get one somewhere else for at least $15 an hour, because that's, mathematically, when you look at the whole country, that is the minimum that somebody can have and buy themselves a 2-bedroom apartment and be able to feed themselves and have dignity as a human being. So I think that's really cool for a number of reasons. Not only because is it pretty obvious to me that the federal government there's a million jobs that would be great if there were people to do them, but in our I'm sorry if that was audible. A little bit of a belch there. Sorry, but that's how. Oh shucks! I gotta sell a bunch more food again. In our capitalist society, we get caught. I say that as though I'm not saying that right now in the context of a scorching rebuke of capitalism, but in our capitalist society, we get caught up in we should do things that make economic value, and other things are not compensated in an adequate way, and that's not worth having people do because it's not compensated the right way. And you can only upgrade them once. Interesting. Okay, well, hey, I guess that indicates to us that this game is not as long as I might have thought. Because if there's only one warrior upgrade, then there you go. Oh no, that might be a problem. I should not have upgraded that one. I should have upgraded the Axemen. Oh, well, let's see how it goes. I don't know which battle that is, so I'll just say yes to a potion. Oh, well, didn't need a potion for that, but that's okay. Oh, we're good. That wizard is pretty good. It's dropping frames a little bit. But we get caught up in saying that things that don't make enough value, and of course, there's a number of things that are messed up in our evaluation. What is value in our society? Because we don't place an economic value on nature, and our natural resources, the commons, and so on and so forth. But so we deem certain things that you could put people to work doing not worth it. If you had a federal jobs guarantee, and the government and the federal government had insightful framework to put policies through to have people working at things that were valuable in a real way, though not necessarily in an economic way, you could have incredible change being worked on by folks who are currently unemployed. And I think that it has such potential as a plan to be transformative in a million different ways, and I love it. But that's just, of course, that's just one plank in a lot of others that are great. I gotta focus on this one because this one's gonna suck. I love Bernie Sanders. Oh, this is futile. This sucks. I'm definitely gonna lose this one. Don't even worry about it. I'm gonna lose this one. This is really futile. This was all because I wasn't paying attention. I mean, it's looking okay right now. It's not going to be okay, though. I'm going to exhaust all the troops that I have the ability to make, and then I'm still going to lose. I get the feeling. Oh, here we go. Yeah. This is, well, got some money. No, we didn't get, oh no. That sucks. I still don't understand the pattern for getting money or not. Well, we will sort this out in the next episode, because we hit the hour mark again. So I will finish my cup of tea, another bathroom break, and I'll be back. So thank you for listening.